All right, we got one from Sam to end off the podcast. This is a very good one. Question for the podcast. Something I've tended to notice with YouTube is as creators grow, they tend to lose some of their original viewers, and it begins to feel a little bit more impersonal. While you probably aren't quite big enough to fully experience this, wow,
that's a dig.
Thank you, Sam.
Damn, Sam. Gotta do me like that? Jeez.
I'd be interested to hear how you've tried to keep a balance between efficiency/growth and that personal touch that makes YouTube such a unique form of media over the years. Keep up the great work. Loving the podcast. Sam. Thank you, Sam, for the roast and the kind words.
Damn. Sam just, wow.
We really are relevant.
This is a question, even though you wouldn't know the answer to. I'm going to ask it anyway. Just so you can imagine.
Okay, I think Sam is asking basically, in terms of, I think of streaming when I think of this.
Yeah.
The more viewers you have, it gets a little bit more impersonal because you can't remember. You literally physically cannot remember everybody.
Right.
You just can't.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that? And like, how do you try to keep a balance between being personal, because obviously people like you being personal,
Right.
And how does that work?
I'm not even sure I have a great answer for this.
Okay.
I feel like it's different with streaming than videos, right? Because streaming is
that's what you
like a live. It's like you're interacting live. Like
Do you
there's a
think
really
your
personal connection with streaming.
Do you think your streams were really personal?
Well, they are, because I
Yeah.
don't have that many people there.
Yeah.
So, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love that I know everyone's name. I know like a little bit about each person almost.
Yeah.
I know what a lot of their voices sound like because I play with them enough to know, which is really personal.
Yeah.
But for like the videos, like I'll read comments and I don't know almost any of them. So it's way different for me. I think you'd be better to answer this because I think you've had that smaller community and now you've built a bigger community to where it's a couple hundred per stream and there's just no way to respond to everyone or know everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
I would still say mine, even though you're saying like there's more.
Yeah.
It's still pretty personal though.
Yeah.
Honestly, like my streams feel, I recognize a lot, like all the people in there. Like sometimes I can go back and I'm like, oh, I recognize that those people have been in my streams for months, right? Especially with like consistent subs and stuff on Twitch when you have like the actual,
and
yeah, it's like, oh, 22 months. You've been a sub for 22 months.
Yeah.
I know you've been around, right? Streaming on YouTube to streaming on Twitch for me, right? I almost did a reverse in a way. I genuinely have way more viewership on YouTube. I did. I would have, even when I was doing variety on YouTube a little bit, when I would stream like Outlast and these like scary games and stuff, I did that for a little bit before I switched. I think I was getting like a decent amount of viewers. It was definitely like 500 to 1,000 range, especially if I played zombies or something. It'd be like 1,000, right, on YouTube. The last stream I ever did was the Dead of the Night Easter egg hunt in 2018. Wow. On YouTube. And those streams, so impersonal. Is it impersonal? Impersonal?
I don't know. So not personal.
So not personal. But they're so not personal. Like, it's just, and I find that with YouTube chat a lot. Like, YouTube chat, for some reason, to me, it just feels a little bit more impersonal. And I don't know what that is, but I think also just, especially like Easter egg hunts and stuff like that, like there's just so many people in there and it's so hard to like really talk to people and really like get a feel of like who's all in the stream and stuff. And I know for me, I sort of had a realization. I know we're like, this podcast is super long. It did definitely go over the last one.
We're almost beating our last one.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'll hurry. But the thing for me is I actually had like, this was really the problem I was having on YouTube. I felt like my community at the time, this is not everybody. Please do not take this as like I didn't like my community on YouTube, because you guys know I freaking love my community. But I felt like there was an increasing amount of people who were coming into my streams or coming into my channel and being negative or like or whatever, or toxic or whatever. And I could see it like increasing. Like I would be streaming Dead of the Night and people would be like, this map sucks. This map sucks. Or like, they clearly weren't even there like watching for me. Like some people, you had like that core audience that was watching, that like were like here watching me do an Easter egg hunt. But then you had people who were just, and that was just during that time period, like the zombies community got really, really negative.
Yeah.
And I could see a lot of new people coming in and just being like clearly just like, who's this guy? Like, I'm here
and
just
it ruins
to see
the
this.
vibe.
Yeah, and it's this weird vibe. And I actually, like, Sam, to this point, like literally what you're talking about, I actually made the switch to Twitch because I was missing the personal connection. I was missing these are my, like, I can see my hardcore audience clear as day. And I know for a fact that these guys are like supporting me and these guys are like down to watch my stuff. At the end of the day, of course, you want more viewers, right? Like if I could have like 10,000 people watching me, that'd be insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But I do think there is like a sad sacrifice to that because to me, the fun of all of my streams is the fact that I can list people right now off the top of my head, like Whisper and all these guys, Whisper, Person Man. Like I know names in my head. Yeah. There's this girl, Shoddy. Her name is literally Shoddy in the chat.
She calls us daddy.
Yeah, that's strange. But but like I can list people that have been in my streams normally, and if I had like 10,000 viewers, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And that's really sad. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is of like how you like combat it. I just think you gotta find ways. I think sometimes you just need to do streams and do content that are just for you, even if it might not be like as much as you want to always do the most successful thing. Sometimes maybe don't. Maybe do something for your own sake. Like I want to make this just because it's fun, and you'll see like the hardcore supporters will come out and show support. And I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is and where I'm getting with this, but like I literally deal with this all the time.
I feel you. I feel like the hardcore supporters are watching this right now.
Literally, literally, this podcast is a great example.
Exactly.
You guys who are listening and watching on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, like you guys are here because I think you guys like feel more like I feel like the audience that watches this way more personal to me than, you know, if we did a stream right now, you know, playing like Keno or something, right? Like
why do you guys say Keno?
I know you
God,
hate that
that map's trash.
But I'm just saying like but I still appreciate the audience. Don't get me wrong. I still appreciate the viewers that would come in, but it's like there's something to be said about the fact that you guys are listening to this through a link from an original video on our channels, and you're like here on this podcast channel, like the couple thousand of you have been watching the podcast and you're here listening, like that to me, that's, and in some weird way, that's like the value to me of like what makes me happy. Like that hardcore passionate audience that like, oh, I want to watch JC and Matt because JC and Matt seem pretty cool and I want to like see what they're talking about. That to me is what makes me happy the most. And I think you just got to do like this podcast, guys. Let's just end it off this way. This podcast, me and Matt at no point were like, yo, we're going to do this podcast to make a crap ton of money or to make literally anything. Like if we literally have fake money on the table, I'm sure like we would love if this podcast can bring income, of course, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're doing this because it's fun.
Oh, I just really wanted to have that platform to talk about.
Yeah, we just
I
need
want
to talk about stuff. And I feel like there's something really cool about that. Like that it's not, it might not be the most financially viable thing for us to do right now.
No, I mean,
you know, it might
be honest, we haven't made anything from it. And we put it together for as affordable as we can just because we wanted to do it. We wanted to look good. And I think any money we make from it is going to go right back into making it even better. Yeah. From the jump, at least. So, yeah. No, I agree.
I hope that like did that answer that question?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
hoping it did.
You went through that fully. You're good.
I just deal with it a lot, man. I deal with people like all the time, just being like, "Oh, you're so hypocritical, JC.
Dude,
you're coming back."
I'm like,
dude,
it makes me mad to hear that shit because it's like there's it's just a terrible argument, terrible comment. Well, it's like, it just makes no sense. It just makes no sense.
It's just like, dude, if I really wanted to, I know exactly what videos I'd be making right now. I know,
but
exactly.
You don't want to though.
I know.
So who cares? Like they're just that's all you got to say. It's already wrong. They're already in the wrong.
That's what I'm saying, Matt. That's what gets me, bro.
Oh, I know.
It's what gets me. It's like, dude, I literally know. Oh my god, I could go down. I'm not, but like, if I really wanted to, the thing I'd be doing on my YouTube channel right now is I'd be doing things people say again, and I'd be doing it about zombies leading up to Cold War, probably get Lex on for some episodes, probably do some episodes myself. I'd actually probably do a retrospective and do things people say on every single zombies map because everybody loved the retrospectives this year. I would have probably done that. And I probably would have made money. Probably would have made a good amount of money doing that on YouTube and probably would have banged, to be honest. Like have things people say come back and do it on all these old maps leading up to Cold War. That's like, I can see in my head, I could have done that. Literally, I could have done that. And also, I could stream zombies every single day on my Twitch channel if I wanted to and have more viewership. But I don't want to.
Then don't do
I
it.
genuinely don't want to. It's like I want that hardcore the audience because it makes me feel more like pumped up to stream.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like it is a hard thing to balance though. Because you want to do the thing that gives you more retention, more viewership or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta be like, nah, I'm gonna do it. I mean, I'm sure for like a bigger streamer or something, maybe they're like, you know what? I'm gonna do a cooking stream today. See how that goes. You know, sometimes you gotta just do things for yourself.
Bro, that's why we're doing this podcast.
I know. Sorry.
You're good.
I got heated.
I think you put us over.
You put us,
that's our record.
Jess is gonna kill us.
Oh, she's gonna be like, it's way too long.